The lengths that some game companies will go to make sure that you don't pirate their games sometimes is quite extensive and a little excessive and a little silly. I remember there is one game called Game Developer Tycoon made by an indie company where if you pirate the game, the company will eventually just go completely bankrupt and your games will just stop selling after about 10 hours of gameplay because they programmed it in that you just insta-lose after 10 hours. So they could say, oh, you invested all this time into the game that you stole? Well, now your time has gone down the drain and it means absolutely nothing. So today we're gonna have a look at some of the more insane stuff in gaming anti-piracy, which I am incredibly excited about. A video by Tube, which I haven't reacted to before, but this should be fun.
Earthbound released in 1994 for the SNES and included multiple anti-piracy measures. Back in the day, obtaining pirated versions of cartridge games was kind of a hassle. I mean, just look at this thing. So basically...
Oh my god! Oh god, that scared me. Jesus Christ, got jump scared on YouTube.
Buy this illegal SNES attachment, and it would allow you to read floppy disks instead of cartridges. So pirates would make
we need to go back to using floppy disks
on the low for cheap. Some games like Earthbound could actually identify the game chip as not by Nintendo, prompting this message. This game pack is not designed for your Super Famicom or Super NES.
Which is code for, yeah, we got you, buddy. We know what you're doing. You're not getting away with this. The Nintendo ninjas have been dispatched to your location. Please remain seated.
The game will check if the part of the cartridge that saves game files is less than 8 kilobytes, since fakes usually have more. Credit to C Willy HD for that information. If it does, then you'll get this message. It is a serious
credit to C Willy HD is the funniest thing I've heard in this video so far.
18 USC 2319. Please.
What? It is a serious crime to copy games? Oh my god, they cited the actual code. They went full lawyer nerd on this. Please refer to your Nintendo game instruction booklet for further information. You open the booklet and it just has all the people who have been sentenced to death for pirating video games.
Nintendo game instruction booklet for further information. Hackers then found a way to bypass this, but the game had more tricks up its sleeve. It'll spawn a ton of random enemies, making the game harder to beat. Though if the player somehow makes it to the final boss battle with Gygas, the game will abruptly freeze. And once the player resets the SNES, they'll realize that their save data has been deleted.
Yes! Oh, dude, that's the funniest way to do anti-piracy is to make them play so much. You're like, oh, you get the full experience, but you will never complete it. You will forever have blue balls, and you will never be able to fully experience the full Vimeo game because all of that time and effort that you put into it, boom, it's gone now. Pee pee poof, it's away.
Gold Rush. This game was made for the Macintosh in 1988 and was set in 1848, just before the California Gold Rush. The player is Brooklyn newspaperman Jared Wilson.
A great American hero? Well, we know America's all about making as much money as possible, so if someone starts to go against that, if someone steals your product without paying, then you know you're gonna go to the ends of the earth to get your money back.
He receives word that he has to go to Sacramento to meet his long-lost brother. After a few minutes of gameplay, word arrives that gold has been found in California, and it becomes much more difficult for Jared to settle his affairs in Brooklyn, then finding a way to Sacramento. But if a pirated version is detected, the game will taunt you by giving you a trivia quiz, and quite literally tells you that the answer is in the game manual, which a pirate wouldn't have.
Okay, that's not as good, because what if you buy a pre-owned copy that doesn't have the game manual? Or what if you lose the game manual on the way home or something? You know, you trip, you fall, and it goes off a cliff.
Page 36 in the 4th paragraph. Then it says, gotcha, and your in-game character is hung. Yeah, he's hung.
Yo, that's quite the ending. You know when I said that people get sentenced to death for game piracy back about 2 minutes ago? I was kidding. That was a joke. I didn't think it was gonna be real in video game form. Do you got any last words? I wish I didn't pirate this here Vimeo game. No, really, last words, no, really, I'm Jesus. What? Oh, come on, they could've had something funny in there. Whoa, Jesus Christ. All right, well, bye.
Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge is an action-adventure platformer developed by DICE and published by EA. The game released in 2008 and was released for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, with the PC version being followed the next year. Set in a near-future society, the game follows the story of Faith Connors, an underground parkour courier who transmits messages while evading government surveillance. To progress through the game, the player controls Faith from a first-person perspective and completes.
Mirror's Edge was always one of those really fun games that were just like really different and really weird and super memorable. I wish they made more games like this. I remember they released a sequel and it came out to middling applauses where people were like, yeah, I mean, it's good. It's kind of good. It's more of the same, really.
Levels that involve performing a sequence of acrobatic maneuvers, including jumping between rooftops,
I love parkour,
walls, and sliding down zip lines. It's basically a really cool parkour simulator, and the developers added a really interesting anti-piracy measure that has to do with.
I want to guess guess what it is. I feel like, oh, okay, if you pirate it, you can't jump. You can only do little baby jumps for 5-year-olds, and you fall off of cliffs constantly, or your character trips. That would be so cool. You're just running around, your character trips constantly and falls over.
The game is about running and jumping, and what do you need to do in order to have a successful run and jump? That's right, speed. So in pirated versions of the game, Faith begins to slow down as you approach a jump.
Oh, dude, that's so frustrating. That's close, though. That's so funny. So you just can't play the game, you just get stuck there.
Die over and over and over again, leading the player to not be able to proceed in the game. How about you run over?
I hope it has a random chance of that happening, so the next time you do it, it works. But then the further you get into the game, the more likelihood of it happening goes up until eventually you just can't progress anymore. That's like maximum time waster and frustration.
A real copy of the game. Okay.
Got him.
I'm sorry,
Damn.
Yeah, let's head on to the
Nailed
next
it.
one.
Let's go.
The Secret of Monkey Island. The Secret of Monkey Island
these games
is a
are fun.
1990 point-and-click graphic adventure PC game, developed and published
These
by
are always
Lucasfilm
really
Games.
silly games. I feel like this is gonna have a good one.
Version of the Caribbean during the age of piracy. I'm talking.
This game is always super self-aware, so I feel like the anti-piracy is also gonna be really self-aware. They're gonna like look into the camera and do a little wink like, I guess this pirate should have not been a pirate. You know what I mean?
These kinds of pirates. Anyway, their anti-piracy measure was actually pretty smart and featured a physical aspect. In the box set, a wheel would be included named Dial a Pirate. The game would ask you to enter the correct numbers based on the faces matched. Think of it as a 1990s CAPTCHA. Though the numbers were all the same, the internet wasn't big back then, which most likely led to people either giving up or buying a legit copy. But still pretty cool they designed the wheel. I mean, I
feel like they could have done it much more fun than that, though.
Like a license code on the back of the manual. But hey, it's always nice seeing game developers implement physical features into their games.
I've missed game manuals. I always used to get really excited when I bought a new game because I'd sit in my dad's car and I'd be reading the manual while we're driving home, and I was just getting excited because I was reading about all the characters and stuff, and I would just, it would be really cool, and I used to love them, and now they don't make them anymore. It's really
Arma 2 is an
sad,
open world
honestly.
first-person shooter. It has open battlefields, a ton of different weapons to try, and over 100 vehicles the player could control. The developers also included an
Okay, my prediction for the anti-piracy is that either your bullets do nothing, or when you get into a vehicle, it's out of petrol.
Piracy package called Degrade. This causes the game to change slightly over time until it's eventually unplayable. The first change
Degrade,
is that the accuracy of the player's weapons will begin to worsen. The game begins causing the screen to become wavy, simulating the effect of playing while drunk. And finally, the game will begin to fill the screen with Arma 2 logos.
Wait, that's so funny. It just makes the logo pop up. That's pretty funny.
Alan Wake,
I like that one.
Released in 2010, is an action-adventure video.
All right, Alan Wake, your flashlight doesn't work. That's my prediction.
Entertainment. The story follows best-selling thriller novelist Alan Wake as he tries to uncover the mystery behind his wife's disappearance during a vacation in a small fictional town named Bright Falls, Washington, all while experiencing events from
People
the plot in
love
his latest
Alan
novel.
Wake.
The anti-piracy measure in this game is actually really
has like a cult following.
All it was Alan wearing a pirate eye patch throughout the entire game. Yes, it's still beatable. It's not game-breaking. Just a little cosmetic item from the developers to let the pirates know, hey, we know what you guys are doing.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. It's still want to let them play the game. They could have done anything. I think they should have done the flashlight thing. That would have been perfect.
Garry's Mod is a 2006 sandbox game
we love
developed by
Garry's Mod.
Studios and published by Valve. The game really
This might be the best game of all time.
It provides players with a world in which they can freely manipulate objects.
Garry's Mod is like Minecraft for 25-year-old men.
First, when players try opening up a cracked version, they'll get this error notification. Engine error, unable to shade polygon normals. The message also contains the user's Steam ID, which is purposely done by developers so that pirates would go on forums and input the code. You know, they'd go on forums, be like, hey, I got this error.
They make them snitch on themselves? That's so funny. I love that.
Which then led to 2,500 pirates being identified in the first 15 hours, and presumably being banned for just outing themselves on forums.
Oh, they could have just banned them, but they didn't. They made them snitch on themselves first.
Garry's Mod and owner of Facepunch Studios said on a blog post,
Brilliant.
I did this for the people that did buy Garry's Mod. They get to point and laugh at pirates.
Yeah, because they'd be like, oh, guys, I got this error with this error code, and everyone in the forums would be like, yeah, did you? Did you get this error? Oh, man, I hope they find a fix for that soon. Oh, yeah. I hope they find a fix for that. Maybe the fix is like getting a debit card and maybe working for an hour because Garry's Mod is like $5.
If you leave it easy for people to pirate, we're betraying the people that paid. The legit users need to see you taking steps to make it harder for pirates, or they just end up feeling like they should have saved their money and pirated too.
True. That self-snitching thing is so brilliant, though. That's such a good idea.
Year of the Dragon.
I have heard that this one is kind of deranged.
Year of the Dragon seems to be a fan favorite.
I can't imagine what it would be, though.
Anti-piracy measures in video games, and after doing my research, I understand why. The game starts off fairly normal until about 30.
Oh god, I love Spyro as well. This is my Spyro game. This is the one I always played. I love this so much. I guess maybe like you can't breathe fire and you're a dragon, or you can't jump anymore? I don't know.
The average playthrough when you approach Zoe. Zoe is supposed to help Spyro along the way by giving him advice. Here's an example of one of her pieces of dialogue.
This Rhinoc is too big to charge. You'll have to flame him using the circle button.
This copy of Spyro wasn't paid for, you piece of shit. Can you go and maybe buy one before I report you to the cyber police?
But in a pirated copy, she'll say this instead.
I'm sorry, Spyro, but you seem to be playing a hacked version of this game. This may be an illegal copy. Since this copy has been modified, you may experience problems that would not occur on a legal copy.
After
Spyro's just like, Zoe, what the fuck are you talking about?
Many random events begin to occur. I'll list some intentional bugs devs included in order to make a pirater's life extreme hell. Your
no fire breathing
will be reset, enemies are harder than usual, the ability to pause can be removed, doors lead to random locations. In the UK version,
what, they made a map randomizer for Spyro immediately? Dude, that sounds like a benefit. What do you mean?
The language will change at any given point, and a lot of other things. So you need
the language changes, that's funny.
Game. But in the pirated version, they just sometimes randomly despawn from your inventory. Since the removal of the eggs is based on RNG means random number generator, which
that just means they added hard mode.
The game is actually somewhat
Spyro Kaizo.
But I'm telling you, you'll end up ripping your hair out before you actually have fun. And even
that's a proper challenge run. Can I beat the pirated version of Spyro? Someone needs to do that.
Make it to the final boss fight. Well, this happens.
What happens? What's happening? Oh my god. Wait, I was kidding. Someone actually did. Can I Spyro 3 anti-piracy code 100% playthrough attempt. Oh my god, someone actually tried to do it. Anti-piracy walkthrough and bonus. Dude, this one guy. Give it up for that one guy. He's awesome.
Yup. Your game is just
oh my
reset.
god. You go to the final boss and it just resets you to the start of the game. I mean, by that point, you pretty much finished the game anyway, you know?
On YouTube decided to actually do a playthrough of the anti-piracy.
Wait, is that the person I just found? Oh, it is the person I just found. Yeah, it is this guy. Oh, that's cool.
Version, and even their description reads, the goal was to show full uncut footage. I was tired and later on it was taking a toll on me. Treat this like a casual 100% playthrough. Nothing fast or skillful. And just so you get an idea of it timing-wise, the any percent speedrun world record for Year of the Dragon is 23 minutes and 58 seconds. And the only full-length pirated playthrough on YouTube is 8 hours, 20 minutes, and 29 seconds.
Dude.
David Dodd, an Insomniac
That's insane.
developer, actually explained why they chose to add a more than usual amount of anti-piracy measures in their game. Now,
someone stole from him when he was a child. Someone stole his Haribos and he got really pissed off, and he's just against thieves so much that he went to the ends of the earth to stop them.
Year of the Dragon's crack protection had been implemented, it was time to move on to the second stage, slowing down the crackers as much as possible. We had actually tried to make the
slowing down the crackers? Was he okay? Were we talking about pirates or white people?
Protection as difficult as possible to understand, mixing in the
goddamn crackers is what's doing it,
and using different implementations so that it would be hard to understand. We thought that if the crackers couldn't understand what we had done, it would be a lot harder for them.
I know he's talking about hackers, but I just can't stop thinking about it. Just talking about white people.
Game. We wanted to make it hard enough to reduce the pool of people capable of cracking it. If there are only a couple of pirates with enough skill to crack a game's protection, it might take them a week or two to get around to it. Unfortunately, with Year of the Dragon being such a high-profile game, this was probably wishful thinking. Thus, we wanted to make the job of cracking Year of the Dragon time-consuming and tedious. If we could just keep the crackers busy at finding the protection, that's time taken away from them working out how to remove it. Again, we were trying to reduce the pool of people available who could crack the game. Not every cracker would have enough time available to make
it doesn't make sense.
It probably isn't anyone's day job. On this note, it's worth pointing out that for most crackers, this is a hobby. If they get bored, they may well give up. We try to make the crackers wade through plenty of chaff before finding the protection.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get you. It's crazy that they put so much into that, though.
Spirit Tracks. The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, released in 2009, is a Nintendo DS exclusive, set a century after Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker.
I wonder why Game Freak and Nintendo don't do this for Pokemon games. You'd think so, but I suppose it would be really hard to be able to detect which ones are pirated, because when you buy a physical copy and you dump a Pokemon game, you just upload that file. So how would you know that that file has been cracked. I don't know. I don't know how this detection works, to be honest.
The storyline follows the current incarnations of Link and Princess Zelda as they explore the land of New Hyrule to prevent the awakening of the Demon King Malladus. Players navigate New Hyrule, completing quests that advance the story and solving environmental dungeon-based puzzles, many requiring the DS's touchscreen and other hardware features. Navigation between towns and dungeons is usually done with a train, which features its own set of mechanics.
The train breaks down. The train runs out of coal, and the train blows up. The train,
and puzzles.
Has no seats on it.
Link operates the train, there are controls on the touchscreen that let you speed up, slow down, or stop the train. But when playing on a pirated copy, these controls are simply missing, leading you to be stranded and thus making the game unplayable.
In the pirated version of this game, Link just doesn't fucking know how to drive a train. Link looks at the controls like, I don't know what to do. What do you mean?
Hey guys, I quickly want to interrupt the video to talk to you guys about Earl. We have a new Christmas collection, and we also have the new tie-dye t-shirts.
Oh, that's sick.
So
That's nice.
Apologize to certain people that tried buying this new drop.
Oh, it's like
Cuphead. Had a
Cupheads.
glitch where no one could buy the new drop. It was so
I love
annoying.
this. I love this aesthetic so
I
much.
just found out while editing this video. So I truly am sorry to those people that wanted to buy everything.
Oh, and there's like festive stuff on there too.
Tell you guys what we have.
Dude, I love
Earl
this
with his
aesthetic
dick in a
so
box.
much.
We have the Winter Earl.
Wait, is this dick in a box?
University, along with the zip.
Earl's a bit randy, isn't he?
Earl and Earlette wrapped up. Earl hot chocolate, mistletoe, and snow.
Hey, well, if you want some good clothes, then that's where you need to go.
Really hard on the site, so just check it out. Earl doesn't exist.
That's some good clothing right there.
To the video.
I like that design a lot, to be honest. It's really good.
Tycoon.
Yes, this is the one I was talking about at the start of the video. Yes, I didn't pre-watch this, I promise.
Video game developed by Greenheart Games, released in December of 2012. This game is pretty cool.
Wait, I'm gonna get exposed so badly if I told the story wrong. I hope I didn't, because I was just going off of what I remember.
Created and developed by the player. The player starts out in a garage in the early 1980s during the
I used to love this game though.
Video games with no employees, limited money,
and I did buy
limited choices for the first game. New options are unlocked as new games are created. When the first game engine is built, the player's game development skills improve, and as time goes on, new consoles also get released. The game's developers actually implemented a
This is the most meta video game of all time.
Measure into this game. Patrick Klug, founder of Greenheart Games, knowing.
Oh wait, I remember now. Oh, I remember what happens. Okay, before he says it, I'm gonna tell you what actually happened. People start pirating your games, so your revenue goes to 0 because everyone is pirating your game, so you can't get any sales. And then people went online and they were complaining about a bug where everyone would pirate their games, but that's just the anti-piracy measure.
The game was likely to be torrented, purposely released a cracked version of game Dev Tycoon, and uploaded it himself to torrent sites. Gameplay in this version is identical, except for
wait, he uploaded his own cracked version. Okay, that's a weird one.
As players progress through the game, they get this message. Boss, it seems that while many players play our new game, they steal it by downloading a cracked version rather than buying it legally. If players don't buy the games they like, we will sooner or later go bankrupt. Players of the cracked version will eventually lose money and go bankrupt, and this being a result of their in-game video game being pirated. And again, in this case, ironically, some people complained that
this is so funny. I love that. I love the fact that people self-report so much on this. It's hilarious.
And they complain on forums.
That's hilarious. I love that. That's my favorite one, I think.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Ring of Fates is a Square Enix published RPG for the Nintendo DS. This anti-piracy method is a little bit different and more straight to the point. Booting up the game, you'll notice nothing out of the ordinary, but in the background, there's a 20-minute timer that the player can't see. And when the timer is done, well, the game fucking ends. Yeah, a screen comes up that says, "Thank you for playing." This is different from.
What if it's just like a demo though? Like it could be a demo. The game just ends. It's like, you did it, congrats guys. All right, go buy it.
That just says the end. And the game.
Oh, that basically is a demo then at that point. If you download a cracked version, you get a 20-minute demo, and then it's like, okay, go and buy it now. Go buy the game.
This one was quite literally a demo. It's really interesting because developers can easily make like a 1-second timer. Right when you put the game in, boom, it just says illegal copy. But I appreciate how they just want to have.
Well, okay, I know why they didn't do that. They want to give people a taste of what the game's like, so that when they get to the timer and they're like, oh man, I actually kind of like this, maybe I will go and buy it. If it was a 1-second timer, people would be like, oh, fuck this game, I'll just go and play something else.
And honestly, it could probably increase sales. If pirates get a little taste of the game, they're like, okay, you know what, I'll go buy it. Or steal.
Okay, I'm just predicting what he's saying before he says it.
Copy from their local retailer. Bro, do people even go to GameStops anymore? Right?
Are GameStops extinct yet? Is it Tuv? We're connected.
For sure. Who buys
like
physical
soul
copies
linked, mind linked?
Like, let me know in the comments. Everything's digital nowadays. Yeah, I don't buy physical copies anymore. Grand Theft Auto 4. 2008's Grand Theft Auto 4.
Hey, cousin, you pirated this
needs no
game!
introduction. When players would open a pirated version of the game, the camera would
Let's
begin
not go
acting
bowling.
erratically
We're not
as if the
friends,
player was
cousin.
drunk.
You
It would even
pirated
play
it.
during cutscenes. Whenever the player would load into one of their save files on a new boot, within 2 to 3 minutes, they'll experience 3 things. Drunk
Oh,
camera
dude, I
mode,
don't like that.
damaged vehicle, and auto acceleration, without the ability to reverse. The game becomes almost entirely unplayable, but if you somehow make it through to complete some missions, you'll be met with some more anti-piracy measures. In Clean Getaway, you're tasked to steal a car for Vlad and park it in his garage, but good luck doing so since the garage won't open. Oh, and if you decide to get out of the car, well, you get locked
Oh, you get locked out? I was gonna say, when you get back in the car, it should blow up like a car bomb.
and are unable to progress in the game. Though the developers were smart and they figured that people would just swap save files in order to bypass that specific mission. So what did they do? That's right, more game-breaking bugs. In the mission, Uncle
Let's go.
Vlad, after killing Vlad, you'll be faced with a never-ending loading screen. And even after getting yet another
gross.
saved game file, which would be annoying to do at that point, just buy the actual game. All computers in the
No, you should do actually is just have Roman constantly call you over and over again. He's like, let's go bowling. You're like, no, you hang up on him. He calls you immediately and you have to pick up. That would be the best one.
Inaccessible, including police laptops. Forget about having fun in GTA 4. The developers kept going though. In 3-Leaf Clover, the mission
Jesus
where you
Christ.
rob a bank, the bank will be entirely closed off. And last but not least,
You guys, I went to rob a bank, but it's closed until tomorrow. So, do you want to should we just like come back tomorrow? I guess it's closed. We can't rob it right now.
if the player
Yeah,
is
it's shut.
somehow still using the
So,
save game file
yeah.
method, they won't be able to complete one of the last missions in the game. At the very end of it, the mission sequence is broken and this marker on the map won't go away. Yeah, it seems Rockstar Games doesn't like
That's pretty
pirates
good.
at all.
Dude, they make so much money off
Sims
GTA
4.
Online
In the
though.
Sims games,
They don't
when a
even just
character
sell
does something
games
that is
anymore.
normally done in
They
private,
could give
the
it
game
away
will
for free.
pixelate that specific area, like showering or using the toilet. To punish those players who play The Sims 4 with a pirated copy, EA decided to take this to another level. When performing one of these pixelated actions, players of the pirated copy found out that the pixelated area remains after the action is complete. The whole screen becomes pixelated, well, except for the UI. And also, my girlfriend Amber made me in Sims. I haven't seen it yet. It's on the screen right now. Do y'all think it looks like me? Here we go, side by side.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I've never played Sims before in my life, so I don't know how hard it is to make someone, but honestly, look, dude, this is really good. Like, they got the facial hair nailed, they got the nose ring, they got the earrings, like, it's exactly right, even... Dude, that's really good. No, that's awesome.
Character look.
I just can't see the hair. That's the only thing.
All right, Amber, my subscribers gonna let you know. They gonna be honest too. Let's head on to the next one.
No, she did a great job.
Batman
She did a fantastic
Arkham
job.
Asylum. Released in 2009, Batman
If you pirate the game, then you play as the Joker
Arkham
instead.
Asylum also
Because
has its
you're
fair
the
share of
criminal.
breaking anti-piracy measures. For example, pirates would soon find out Batman wasn't able to glide, like, at all. They'd become stuck right at the beginning of the game, and some grapples would randomly be disabled, like
Alfred, I'm impotent. They pirated the game and now I'm weak and
Gamer's mod, pirates would out themselves in forums by explaining that Batman was just flapping like a chicken. The Witcher 2. The Witcher 2
self-report
allows
again.
players to engage
Go
in sex
game.
with many of
Such
the
a good game.
NPCs and sex
Yes!
play. Those playing on pirated copies
Love sex
would soon find out they're
scenes.
in for a surprise, because all the NPCs that the player would have sex with would have their player model replaced by an old lady named Marietta Loretto. Luckily, she remains fully clothed. Nonetheless,
Luckily, I see this as an absolute bonus.
pretty funny and disgusting.
No, this is great. That's
Crisis
That's-
Warhead.
that's
Crisis
way better.
Warhead
What
is
do you
a
mean?
follow-up title to the overachieving original Crisis game, and this one featured another lighthearted anti-piracy measure. The player's weapon, get this, shoots chickens.
Again, this is just a bonus. Why are you making me want to pirate your game now, Crisis? That's so much better.
These chickens don't cause any damage to enemies though, so only physical
Oh.
attacks are really allowed. This
This
makes
is just the
Crisis
pacifism
Warhead a
speedrun.
lot more amusing to watch or play, but it also makes it nearly impossible to beat.
Good time though. It'd be fun to play with that, right? It'd be. I would enjoy that. I think
Sam 3.
we should make this a
Players
thing that
playing
is just a
pirated
thing and
copy of
it
Serious
just
Sam
works like
3
that.
will initially think nothing is wrong. However, that soon changes in a very odd way. The game will spawn a pink arachnoid that is immune to damage. He's incredibly fast and can attack from close and long range. It's honestly kind of scary, but you can
Wait, so it just turns into a horror game where you fight this unkillable enemy?
Realized they could have done anything else, but chose to spawn this fucker in instead.
You just get a hunter that comes after you and kills you. That sounds like a great idea.
I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Oh, well, I did enjoy that. That was absolutely fantastic. I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong. Thank you so much. I'm going to hit that like button and make sure that I'm subscribed for the next video, as well as you should do if you are not subscribed already to this channel, because we're so close to 100,000 subscribers, and you should do it.